Have you ever noticed how loud the world has become? The soft hum of traffic, the constant pings of your phone, the voices of others, the voice in your own mind, always speaking, always reacting. So much of our life happens in noise that we forget what it means to truly hear. Now imagine this: all of it stops. The road grows quiet. The devices fall still. Even the chatter in your head slows. What would you hear then? There is a place within you where the world goes silent. Not because the world disappears, but because your attention gently returns home. Home to the breath. Home to the space between thoughts. Home to the stillness that has always been waiting. Many people feel uneasy when the noise fades. We've become so used to distractions that silence feels like a stranger. But perhaps silence is not emptiness at all? Perhaps silence is where everything meaningful begins. When there is no sound, no distraction, no story to hold on to, what remains? That, dear friend, is where healing begins. This journey is not just about hearing less. It's about feeling more, noticing more, returning to what the Buddha called Sati, mindfulness, where presence itself becomes the medicine. Tonight or today, whenever you find this space, may you enter it like a soft forest path. No need to rush. No need to understand everything right away. Just walk slowly with me as we explore how silence, when embraced fully, can become your sanctuary, your mirror, your gentle teacher. Through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, we will gently uncover the healing power of stillness, the clarity of the middle way, the deep peace that comes from releasing the noise both around and within. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to believe anything. Just listen. With your ears, yes, but more importantly, with your heart. Let us begin. There's a kind of silence we often chase without knowing. A silence we imagine exists only in remote mountaintops or empty rooms, far away from the noise of daily life. But even there, away from honking cars, buzzing phones, and other people, somehow the noise continues, because the real noise lives inside. The most persistent sound we hear is not from the outside world, but from within our own minds. The voice that repeats regrets, the echo of someone's harsh words, the endless rehearsals of future fears, the unfinished conversations that loop and loop again. That, too, is noise. And this noise, this inner turbulence, is what prevents us from ever tasting the sweetness of true silence. True silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of grasping. It is the stillness of a mind that has paused, just for a moment, from clinging to thoughts. But that kind of stillness can be terrifying, because when all the distractions fade, we are left with ourselves. And sometimes that can feel overwhelming. So we keep reaching, scrolling, talking, thinking, afraid of what we might meet in the quiet. Yet in the Dhamma, the Buddha teaches that the storm is not the self. The noise is not the truth. In Pali, this restless thought-making is called Vitakka, discursive thinking. It is not wrong, but it is exhausting. And like any untrained habit, it can run our lives without our consent. The Buddha did not ask us to silence the mind by force. He invited us to understand it, gently, patiently, clearly, just Watch it. Just breathe. Just sit. And something remarkable begins to happen. One morning, a young monk came to his teacher and said, "Master, I'm doing everything you said. I sit in silence. I breathe. But I hear nothing." The teacher smiled and whispered, "Then, my child, you are finally hearing what matters most, the sound of your own stillness." That story is not just a tale, it's a mirror. For many of us, when we sit down to meditate, we search for something to happen, a special feeling, a revelation. But the true gift is often nothing at all. Just this breath, just this moment, just the exquisite peace of not having to chase or fix anything. But how do we start? Not with an hour of perfect meditation, not by escaping into forests or caves, just sit. 3 minutes, eyes closed, no goals, no judgment. Let the thoughts come and go like birds in a vast sky. You are the sky, not the birds, and if you listen deeply, you may begin to sense something beyond all that noise. What are you hearing when everything else grows quiet? Silence, it turns out, is not empty. It is full of insight, full of healing, full of the space your soul has been longing for. And it begins right here, with you, sitting, listening, returning to the sacred quiet you carry within. Have you ever noticed how the body seems to soften the moment the mind stops running? As if somewhere deep inside, the body has been waiting for the thoughts to rest, waiting for the inner winds to still, so it can begin to heal. We often seek healing in medicines, in people and places far from where we are, but the Buddha gently reminded us, healing begins here, where you are, exactly as you are. The body knows how to restore itself, if only we give it space. That space is stillness. There is a kind of peace that arises, not when everything is resolved, but when nothing needs to be fixed. Just noticed. Just held. Just breathed through. In the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha taught Kāyānupassanā, mindfulness of the body. Not the idea of the body, not the image in the mirror, but this living, breathing, feeling presence that carries us. He taught us to observe the body as it is, breathing in, knowing, I am breathing in. Breathing out, knowing, I am breathing out. This simple awareness, so ordinary we often overlook it, is a doorway to the sacred. The present moment becomes a refuge. The body, no longer a battleground of tension and regret, becomes a companion. And slowly, healing unfolds. One day, a grieving man came to the Buddha and said, "Master, I've lost someone I loved. My heart is breaking. What can I do?" The Buddha did not speak. He simply pointed to a tree and said, "Sit, breathe in, know that you are breathing in. Breathe out, know that you are breathing out. And remember, you are still alive." There are no words that can erase grief, but in that moment, under that tree, the man touched something he had forgotten. His own breath still moving, his own body still here, his own life still sacred. So often we try to think our way out of pain, but the mind is not always the place where healing begins. sometimes we must come back to the body. Just sit, just feel. Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw unclench. Let the belly rise and fall like waves meeting the shore. And if emotions come, let them. If tears fall, bless them. If silence feels heavy, stay. Because stillness isn't always comfortable, but it is always honest. You don't need long hours or perfect technique. You don't even need a quiet room. You just need to pause. Right now, place one hand gently on your chest. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Again, breathe in peace and exhale tension. Once more, breathe in silence and exhale whatever you no longer need. This is enough. The Buddha never asked us to suppress our pain. He invited us to sit with it, to breathe with it, to meet it like a wise friend. Because it is in meeting pain, not avoiding it, that we heal. Silence is not escape. Silence is where we finally hear what the noise was covering all along. So the next time anxiety rises in your chest, the next time you feel reactive or overwhelmed, just sit. Don't speak. Don't fight. Just breathe and feel. Let the silence do what it does best. Hold you, heal you, remind you that peace is not something you find. It's something you remember. There's a kind of sleepwalking that happens, even while we're wide awake. We move through our days driven by habit, pouring the tea, locking the door, answering the phone, nodding to people we don't really see. Our hands do the work, but our minds are somewhere else entirely. Worrying, replaying, planning. Never truly here. How often do we eat without tasting? Breathe without feeling? Live without truly living? This is the world of automaticity, and it is a kind of suffering, because even though we're alive, we're missing our own lives. But the Buddha offered us a gentle remedy, Sati, mindfulness, to remember, to come back, to awaken in the middle of our daily routine and say quietly to ourselves, this moment matters. Mindfulness isn't something mystical. It's as real and close as your own body, as immediate as your next breath. And silence is what makes it possible. Because when we pause the noise, external and internal, we begin to notice the simple miracle of being. When we're not constantly reacting, we have space to observe the coolness of air as it enters the nose, the weight of our feet on the earth, the way our thoughts rise and fall like waves, without needing to follow every single one. In silence, we remember. There was once a mother who lived a quiet, humble life. Every morning, after her children left for school, she would go to the small yard behind her house. She walked slowly, 5 steps forward, 5 steps back. One day, a neighbor asked her, "Why do you walk the same path every morning? Doesn't it bore you?" She smiled gently and said, "For the first time in my life, I am not chasing thoughts. I am finally walking, just to walk. No destination, no rush, just presence. This is the gift of mindfulness. It transforms the ordinary into sacred ground. So, how can we begin, truly begin, to taste this kind of presence? You don't need an hour-long retreat. You don't need incense or cushions or silence outside. You only need a willingness to pause. Right now, if you're sitting or lying down, just notice your breath, not to control it, just to feel it. The in-breath touches life. The out-breath lets it go. Try starting each morning with just 2 minutes of sitting in silence. No phone, no music, just you and your breath. You'll begin to notice something subtle, the tension in your shoulders, the racing of your thoughts, the longing in your chest. And slowly, lovingly, you'll return home. Another practice? Listen, not to words, but to silence itself, to the hum of the room, the rustle of leaves, the beating of your own heart. There is more wisdom in those sounds than in 1,000 opinions. Breathing in, I feel life. Breathing out, I smile. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to the deathless, not in some abstract sense, but here and now. When we are truly present, we are no longer bound by the stories of past or future. We are free, and that freedom is peace. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are the gentle awareness that sees them come and go. You are the silence that holds everything, without clinging, without pushing away. Let that silence guide you. Let it nourish your mindfulness. Let it bring you back, again and again, to the miracle of this very breath, because this is where life is happening. And this is where healing begins. Sometimes we chase so much comfort that we become numb, and other times we push ourselves so hard, trying to be disciplined, spiritual, productive, that we begin to crack from the pressure. We swing between indulgence and deprivation, between overdoing and overthinking, between needing too much and denying ourselves everything. And both extremes, the Buddha said, are chains. But in silence, we begin to hear what those extremes have been drowning out, the hunger for balance, the quiet plea within us. Can I stop swinging and simply be? The Buddha knew this tension well. He himself once walked the path of luxury, bathed in silks, surrounded by pleasure. And then he walked the path of painful self-denial, eating almost nothing, punishing the body, pushing it toward collapse. But it was only when he sat beneath the Bodhi tree, neither starving nor indulging, that awakening dawned. He discovered the middle way, not too tight, not too loose, like a string on a lute. If it's too tight, it snaps. If it's too loose, it won't sing. Only in balance does music arise. We don't find that balance by thinking more. We find it by listening to the soft signals of our own life, to how our body feels after too much striving, to how the heart responds when we force, control, or compare. Stillness is the space where we begin to recognize, I'm clenching too hard here. I'm grasping too much there. And most gently, I've forgotten myself again. But in that recognition, there is no shame. There is only returning to enough, to the center, to the clarity that arises when we stop trying to be someone else and simply breathe into who we are. Sometimes balance looks like turning off the screen earlier. Sometimes it looks like allowing ourselves rest without guilt. Sometimes it means saying no to what drains us, or yes to what nourishes us, even if it's small. So the next time you feel pulled too far in any direction, ask yourself gently, where am I on the string? Is this tightness, or is this freedom? Am I acting from wisdom, or reacting from habit? Let silence help you hear the answer. Because the middle way is not a fixed rule. It's not a formula. It's a living, breathing relationship with life, moment to moment. And every time we choose balance over extremes, we become more intimate with peace. Peace does not come from closing ourselves off. True peace arises when we open, without clinging. We can live fully. We can care deeply. We can feel and express and move in the world without being consumed by it. That is the quiet gift of the middle way. It doesn't ask you to reject life. It invites you to hold life gently, with both hands open. If you're not already settled, now is the time to find a space where your body feels safe. No need for perfection, just enough quiet. To return inward, sit comfortably. Let your spine gently lengthen, like a tree rising from the earth. Not stiff, not slouched, just upright, but soft. Let your hands rest wherever they feel at ease. Your lap, your knees, one atop the other. And if it feels safe, gently let your eyes close. This is a space with no expectations. You don't need to achieve anything. You don't need to get rid of thoughts or chase after peace. You're simply here. Now, let your attention rest on the breath. Don't change it. Just notice it. Inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. Let the breath anchor you. You may begin to hear small sounds around you. The hum of the room, a distant breeze, maybe the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat. Let them be there. There is no need to block anything out. Just allow everything to arise and pass. Like clouds across a quiet sky, now bring your awareness inward. Notice what sensations are alive in the body. Is there warmth, tension, softness? Whatever is present, just greet it with kindness. You don't need to fix anything. You're only observing. And if thoughts come, and they will, smile at them. Truly, smile. And gently bring your awareness back to the breath, back to the rise and fall. This is your homecoming. You may begin to feel small waves of emotion or energy rising. A flicker of sadness, a memory, a surge of joy. Whatever it is, just let it move. No judgment, no commentary, just space, just presence. You are not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You are the awareness that holds them, the stillness behind them, the silence beneath them. Let that silence expand now. Let it grow between the breaths, between the heartbeats. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to become. You already are. There's a place within you that has never been wounded, a place that has never been anxious, never been restless. It watches everything and clings to nothing. That place is silence itself. Rest there now. Let your body breathe on its own. Let the sounds move around you like wind through trees. Let thoughts come and go like birds crossing the sky. Stay with this sacred stillness. Slowly now, bring your attention back to the breath. Feel the way it moves the body. Feel the weight of your body on the earth. Feel your hands, your feet, the shape of your presence. And when you're ready, no rush. Gently blink your eyes open. Let the light return softly. Let the world return softly. But keep the stillness with you. Carry it into the next moment, into the next word, into the next breath. And now, as the echoes of silence settle gently in your chest, as your breath finds its own rhythm again, perhaps you've begun to remember something you always knew. That silence was never a void. It was home. It was never about turning away. It was always about returning. Returning to what is real, to what is alive, to the sacred stillness that lives beneath every moment, waiting patiently for you to notice it again. True healing does not arrive like thunder. It whispers. It arrives in the space between one breath and the next. In the moment, you stop trying to become someone else and simply rest as who you already are. Meditation, mindfulness, the middle way. They do not begin in temples or books. They begin in silence. In the exact moment you are willing to pause, feel, and listen. Without fear. If you ever feel lost, not just in the world, but within yourself, sit down, breathe, and listen for the silence beneath your noise. It will not lie to you. It will not abandon you. It will lead you home. Let this silence walk with you into your relationships, into your choices, into the way you speak, rest, love, and live. Thank you, truly, for choosing to be here, for stepping into this shared space of stillness and reflection, for offering your presence, your breath, your trust. May the silence continue to hold you long after this audio fades. May you feel its warmth in your bones, its wisdom in your choices, its peace in the very center of your life. Wherever you go from here, may you carry the calm of this moment with you. May you return to your breath as often as needed. And may you always remember, peace begins inside, and it begins now. We'll meet again soon, in the quiet.